One of the places I wanted to see in Klaipeda towards the end of March was the Sea Museum. You could enter this museum for free on the last Sunday of every month. All you had to do was to book your ticket online. Although it was March, we started the day with a not very cold weather. The Sea Museum was on the opposite side, and we had to cross the ferry. We immediately took our coffees and ran to the ferry and crossed the street with the crowd. I had crossed many times before, but hadn't yet had the opportunity to visit the Sea Museum. That's why I got off the ferry and walked towards the museum, which is within walking distance. It was as if all of Klaipeda was there that day. People both found a place to spend their weekends, and they would do it for free. That's why the tickets were sold out in a very short time. I can say that I was lucky to find a ticket. There was already a long line at the entrance of the museum, and everyone was entering by showing their ticket. When it was my turn, I showed my ticket to the attendant to scan the barcode on it and passed. There were very cute animals that greet you at the entrance. These were penguins. Because I come from a hot and dry climate, I saw a penguin for the first time in my life, even a group of penguins. I watched their shots and movements for a while. They were strange animals. Just behind the penguins was the main museum, and it was a round area. I wanted to enter here last and took a tour around at first. Again, an animal living in cold climates caught my attention, and I got a little closer to watch them closely. There were also seals. I knew seals as animals that usually don't move very much, and those here also lay on the ground and lay back down, staring pointlessly at the occasional guests. I found this a little funny, and left without bothering them any further. This museum was the circular area in the middle, but there were also small museums around it, and most of these museums were sea museums. Due to the pandemic, few people were taking them here, and I didn't want to wait too long, so I decided to enter the Sea Museum. When you go around the large area at the entrance, you reach giant aquariums. First of all, I noticed a boat that was probably taken out of the sea or worn out. It was a long old boat. Immediately after, there was another aquarium with various sea creatures. Each time I advanced, I got the impression that I was walking in the sea, and when I went a little further, I saw many large and small seashells. These two were almost all different from each other, and seemed to have been carefully chosen. There were so many creatures here, whose names I don't know, that I was once again amazed by the magnitude of life under the sea. It was truly a different world. Many fish species could be distinguished from each other by the small details in their appearance. But if I confess that don't know much about this subject, it didn't seem possible for me to list the names of these fish one by one. So I was just watching their movements and reading the little notes written in the margins. Some were swimming, some were sinking to the bottom and hardly moving, some were trying to climb the rocks inside the aquarium. I focused on the colors of these fish for a while, and there seemed to be fish of almost every color here. I already knew that some fish species were named after another animal because of their color. For example, these were zebrafish. There were many species, and the one that caught my attention the most was this lionfish. When I did a little research, I saw that it was a fish that lived up to its name. Contrary to its appearance, it was a dangerous fish and an invasive fish species that declared its kingdom wherever it was found. The ones on its back are actually a poisonous spin, and it protects itself against big fish. Then we came to the part where giant fish passed over us. Being this close to this giant fish was a little scary at first, even though there was a glass aquarium in between. However, after staying inside for a while, you got used to it and enjoyed the moment. While everyone was taking pictures or videos, I examined this fish and immortalized this moment with a few videos. My eyes also searched for a shark with a straight fin on its back, but I didn't see such a fish. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be here. When I went a little further, I came across the hosts at the entrance again. These were also swimming penguins. Although their wings didn't serve the purpose of flying, they allowed them to swim very well, and they continued to swim by passing in front of us, as if they were showing this to us once again. Likewise, I examined the seals swimming right next to it for a while. While I was thinking that maybe there are thousands of species that I haven't shown yet, I learned that there are about 2,300 species here, and it really surprises me. It was also stated that it had a collection of more than 19,000 seashells, and these shells have been collected since 1975. Finally, when I left the Sea Museum, I realized that I had made the right decision to come here. People take pictures or record a few videos and go, but I don't find that right. I'm sure there are locals who live here as well. I'm a bit of a curious part for the job, so I learned here that there is a lot more I need to research. Finally, we decided to leave the Sea Museum and have a drink on the beach, and the hot coffees we brought were really good. The weather was fine, and if you caught such weather in these months in Lithuania, you had to make use of it somehow. That's what we did, and we walked on the beach for a while and sipped our coffees. It was not dark yet, and as Lithuanian novices, we thought it would stay like this forever. The sun suddenly disappeared, and the clouds began to darken. Small breeze seemed to herald that the weather would soon get hard. Again, the Lithuania offered me an experience that I had never experienced in my life, and we were in the middle of snowstorm. I can say that it was quite enjoyable, not counting the frostbite of my eyelashes and the snowflakes that got into my eyes, and luckily we were a little prepared. Although we were cold, we didn't neglect to enjoy this moment and stayed there for a while. Lithuania has an indecisive atmosphere, especially the transition from winter to spring is a bit harsh. I think I've shown that, at least in this way. So, if you are planning to go there this season, be prepared. Take care and see you in the next video.